Hey, what's up guys, Zukon here, and today I'm going to be going over a Fire Mage guide for the Prepatch in Legion. Legion is almost out now, so this guide will help you learn the basics and get up to speed with the Fire Mage so you're ready to go into Legion for PvP. So I'll do a more advanced guide once my Mage hits 110, and once we get our Artifact Weapon and our Honor Talents. So then I'll do a more advanced guide, but this guide is just going to help you learn the basics and get up to speed with the Fire Mage so you're ready to go into PvP for Legion. So in this guide, we are going to go over the talent selection, how to burst like this, the basic rotation, macros, and a little dueling session at the end to show you guys the Fire Mage in action. So yeah guys, let's get straight into it by talking about the talents. For 15 you have Pyromaniac, Conflagration and Firestarter. I definitely think 100% of the time that Pyromaniac is the best talent here. It's really strong. You have an 8% chance to instantly reactivate a hot streak, so if you create with your Pyroblast, you can get another hot streak proc. That means you can basically constantly like spam Pyroblasts. So usually you cast Pyroblast and then sometimes you get like an instant Pyroblast again after. And sometimes they can proc like twice after each other. Sometimes you're really lucky and you can get loads of burst damage. If you're really lucky, you can get loads of burst damage with this, and it's really strong. So I definitely think you should pick Pyromaniac at level 15. Level 30, you have Shimmer, Cauterize, and Cold Snap. Shimmer is actually pretty good if you want to duel like some melee classes. I use it sometimes when I do like warriors or something. But in arenas, most of the time you're going to go for Cold Snap. It gives you Ice Block 2 charges, and you can have quite a decent heal inside the Cold Snap. So if you're not with a healer, it's definitely good to have Cold Snap. And Ice Block is one of the strongest defensive cooldowns. You're completely immune to damage for about 10 seconds, so it's really strong. So I definitely think Cold Snap is the one you're going to choose most of the time. But Shimmer you can have against some melee classes sometimes. Level 45, you have Mirror Image, Rune of Power, and Incanter's Flow. Rune of Power, it's kind of hard to use. It does the most damage out of all of these, but you have to stand in a little circle and you have to stay still. So it's most of the time in arenas you're not going to be staying still, so it's completely useless in arenas. But you can have fun with it in duels or battlegrounds or something to deal loads of funny burst damage. But Mirror Image, it's decent, does okay damage, but I do think Incanter's Flow is the best one. Basically, it cycles with 5 little stacks, so it constantly goes 1, 2, 3, 4. When it gets to 5, it does 20% damage, and it goes back down to 1 when it does 4% damage, so it increases by 4% every time. But it cycles, for extra burst damage constantly. So you can try and time your burst with Incanter's Flow. When you have 5 stacks, you might want to like polymorph someone and then like burst them once that Incanter's Flow stack gets to 5. But most of the time, you're not really going to think about it as you're just doing your normal rotation. It's going to like just basically give you a constant little damage buff all the time. So you can try and stack it up when you burst sometimes, but usually you just do it passively. Level 60, you have Blast Wave, Flame On, and Controlled Burn. I definitely think 100% that Flame On is the go-to talent 100% of the time. It basically gives you 2 extra charges of Fire Blast, which is really strong. You can carry on a much larger chain of Pyroblast, which gives you loads of burst damage. So Flame On is definitely the best. I'll show you what you can do with it in a second. Level 75, you have Ice Flows, Ring of Frost, and Ice Ward. Ice Ward's okay against some melee classes, I guess. I think Ring of Frost overall is just better because it works against all classes. It's a really nice, strong CC. And it's really good against Druids as well because you can't polymorph Druids, so you have to Ring of Frost on them. At level 75, you have Ice Flows as well. Ice Flows is not that good on Fire because Fire is a mobile caster class anyway, so you don't really need it, really. At level 90, you have Living Bomb, Unstable Magic, and Flame Patch. I think Living Bomb and Unstable Magic are the 2 best here. Unstable Magic can actually proc for like 50% extra damage on other targets, which is actually quite a lot. So I think it's really good, but you have to be careful with these 2 talents though, because you can kind of mess up like a blind or a polymorph. You accidentally AoE someone, so it's kind of risky if you do that. So you have to be quite careful with it. So you can either like choose Living Bomb if you don't like. I'd go for Living Bomb if you're in a 3v3 arena and like you're with a rogue and you really need to get those like really careful with the CC. But Unstable Magic is definitely the one you want to go for if you want to do the most damage, but it is quite risky. So if you want controlled CC like in 3v3, I'd probably pick Living Bomb just to be on the safe side. Level 100, I definitely think Meteor is just the best here. Thunderstorm, it's okay, but I think it's quite awkward with the cast. But Kindling, it's okay. I guess it's more of a PvE talent, really. But I think Meteor is definitely the best. It's a bit nice, massive chunk of damage, so I think it's just really good. So with the abilities in rotation, you don't really have a set rotation. It kind of depends on how you crit. So you have 4 main abilities, and those main abilities are Fireball, Scorch, Fire Blast, and Pyroblast. Fireball does medium damage and has a medium cast time. Scorch is really fast cast time, and you can move around while casting it, and it does really small damage though. Fire Blast has 100% crit no matter what, and it does low to medium damage. And Pyroblast does a lot of damage, and it has a really long cast time. But if you have the Flame On proc, that means it becomes instacast. So there's how you get the Flame On proc is you have to crit twice after each other. So there's loads of different ways you can do this. You can either cast Fireball or Scorch. Hopefully that will crit. See, I got lucky there and it crit. So you want to follow that up by a Fire Blast for 100% crit, and then you cast a Pyroblast. So that's quite a lot of damage right there. Oh, my Pyroblast crit again, so I can follow that by another Fire Blast and instantly Pyroblast again. So sometimes you can just move around with Scorch. Hopefully that will crit. If it does, you can follow it with a Fire Blast and then Pyroblast again. So if you have a crit like this ready, you don't really want to cast Fireball or Scorch again. If you have a Fire Blast, you want to use the Fire Blast to make it 100%. But if you have no Fire Blast left, you can sometimes try and get lucky with Scorch or Fireball, but most of the time it might mess up your rotation, so you have to be careful. That's why the Flame On talent is really good, because it refreshes your Fire Blast, so you don't really ever run out of Fire Blast, so it's kind of handy. So with a burst rotation, you have 100% crit in this rotation, so this is going to be an actual rotation, so you have 100% crit, so you don't have to worry about resetting your streak. So I'll show you how the rotation works now. You can set it up with Dragon's Breath if you don't have a trinket or something. I'll show you on a player in a second, but I'm going to show you on the target dummy now. So basically, if you have no trinket, you can open it up with the Dragon's Breath. So what you can do is you can start with Dragon's Breath, and then you use your Meteor, start casting Fireball, Combustion, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, activate Flame On, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Fire Blast, Pyroblast. Now that seemed like quite complicated and hard to understand to start off with, so I'll break it down quite slowly now. So basically, I started with a Dragon's Breath into a Meteor to confirm the Meteor's damage, and then I started casting a Fireball, and just before my Fireball finished casting, I casted Combustion, and that'll make my abilities have 100% crit. So that Fireball going out will have 100% crit, so it'll give me a streak, and after that I follow it by a Fire Blast to get a quick crit. 100% crit, and after that I'm going to use a Pyroblast, and now since I have 100% crit, that Pyroblast is also going to crit, so that'll give you another streak, and then you follow that up by another Fire Blast, which will then give you another Pyroblast that's going to crit as well, and that's why you activate your Flame On to get more Fire Blasts again. So then you just carry on the rotation, so it's a really strong rotation, and I'll show you what it can do on a player and how fast it can burst them down in a second now. So I'm going to show you what the burst can do on a player against my friend right now. So I'm going to go straight into the burst. I'm going to pretend he has no trinket, and I'm going to open the Dragon's Breath, so do this. So I killed him, and I didn't even use all my Pyroblast. I still had another Fire Blast, which I could have then put into another Pyroblast. So that's how strong the burst is. It's really strong. You set it up with some massive CC gen on the healer, and you can instantly kill a target, so it makes the Fire Mage really strong. So I'll show you again in slow motion, so you can get a little bit better understanding. So you're going to open with Dragon's Breath, put your Meteor down, start casting Fireball, and as soon as your Meteor is about to land and your Fireball starts casting, you activate Combustion into a Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Flame On, Fire Blast, Pyroblast. And you'd carry on that with another Fire Blast and a Pyroblast as well. So hopefully that'll help you guys out with the burst rotation. So with the macros here, I basically have arena, target and focus macros for my polymorph and my counterspell. I also have a burst macro for my combustion. It's basically just use combustion, my trinket, which don't work in arenas right now, but they work in duels, and you can put a potion or whatever you like in there for a battleground or something. I also have an iceblock macro that when I cast iceblock, if I press the button again after doing a global cooldown, it's a cancel aura iceblock. So say you use an iceblock and you want to interrupt a spell cast right after you cast iceblock, you can cancel the iceblock straight away. But you have to be careful just in case you like spam the button. But you do have like a decent amount of time between casting the iceblock and cancelling the iceblock, so you don't accidentally cancel it. So yeah, cancel aura iceblock is a really handy macro to have. So basically with my polymorphs and counterspell, I have one for Arena 1, Arena 2, Arena 3, and also a focus. You can use modifier macros if you like for some of your abilities. It depends on how you like to play. So yeah guys, you can also do these arena macros for your counter or your spell steal if you like. It's up to you if you want to either use a button to switch between targets, then cast a spell, or just want all your abilities laid out with different buttons. It's entirely up to you. If you have something like a Razor Naga, then it is quite handy to have loads of spells like this, just like on different arena targets. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for my macros. So now guys, I'm just going to show you a little bit of duels and arenas that I put together very quickly, just to show you some of the action in the Fire Mage. Might do a more like a better like dueling session on an arena session with a Fire Mage later on. So yeah guys, if you don't want to miss that, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video as well. So yeah guys, I'll see you next time.